Welcome aboard, everyone. I'm your Genxennial host, Brian. As far as my experience with the Enneagram, I've only taken this test one time, and it was like at Truity or, one of the generic free sites. I'm pretty, as most of you know, I'm pretty new to this whole live stream interview, YouTube exchange experience. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen where technical difficulties occur on my side, and the stream doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. There's gonna be problems when technical errors happen on the guest side, and then the stream can't happen. And I imagine the type of audience that I'm drawing in would be accepting and patient of that kind of thing, and I appreciate you guys understanding that. Winston's mom asks, "What do you know about the Enneagram?" And I would answer virtually nothing. I've received an opinion or two about it. One being on the negative side, I don't know, negative or critiquey or whatever works, is that the Enneagram is kind of applicable to determining how, what kind of social issues you might have. It's almost like the Enneagram points out your major flaw, or something along those lines. That's one opinion I've heard. My own personal experience with just dabbling around the edges of this is the numbering system is pretty confusing. Obviously there's an Enneagram number, but then there's the wings, and then there's the 3-digit number, and it's just I plan on taking full advantage of Peter's time and trying to splice those hairs and determine, why is it one number, two number, or three numbers? Is there separate validities between the three ways of looking at it? I don't really know. So we will eventually get to the bottom of it. Winston's mom asks, "Prepare, you sit down and begin to stream. Is that your approach? Mine is different. I knew this was happening today, so I brushed up on Enneagram and then took the test again. I reviewed Plato." Yeah, that's cool, Winston's mom. Well, as far as prepare, it would be kind of in context. Like, I heavily prepared for the interview with host Eric for the ISTP weekly show. The only preparation I did for this was just technical preparation as far as getting the stream set up and whatnot, because I really want to go into this Enneagram thing as ignorant as possible from the standpoint of, I don't want any information I've gathered to bias the test, or I already feel like I might have a little bit too much information in order to do a true reaction to what I'm getting out of it. So yeah, I purposefully didn't research much into this, just so that I could have that genuine first time experience, even though I've had a first time experience already. Like I said, I took that one test, but that's it. And it wasn't really a memorable experience, other than it was a 5. It said I was 95% a 5. And to tell you how how much I was unaware, I didn't even really scroll through the rest of it to try and determine, what is a 5. Oh, you're supposed to also look at this number so that you're a 5 wing 4 or a 5 wing 6. Oh, by the way, you have to look at these numbers to see. I didn't do any of that. All I can tell you about Enneagram is I suspect I'm a 5. Okay, here we go, folks. Here we go. We're letting Peter in.
Am I fairly clear or no?
You're pretty clear. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say you're running about 480. Pretty clear. Maybe 20 frames a second. You're doing fine. You're doing fine over there.
Better than nothing. That window, man. Steak in 10 minutes.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Rub it in. Oh, okay. It was $5.99 a pound.
It was also, my shot at a double entendre. Did you rub in any spices?
Oh yeah. What a different one on each side.
How do you take your steak?
Montreal.
Montreal. That's is that the same as a Philadelphia?
Grill mates, just like the generic shit that you buy.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the generic shit that you buy, just grill mates.
I mean, like, how do you cook it? How well done?
No, medium rare for sure.
Nice.
Has to be.
Of course. Well, so this whole this Enneagram thing, I was wondering what can you tell me about the Enneagram? I've never, I purposely didn't look too much into it. I have the document that you gave me, that peer-reviewed study. Look through that a little bit.
That was the first thing of it scientifically being validated as something meaningful. Bare minimum, just by knowing about the system, you're 15% better with your ego.
Now, you know what? Let me switch over. I'm going to switch over our screen here real quick, and we're going to look at this.
I grabbed these too.
Oh, wow. I'm not. That's probably more books than I own. Just in your hands.
Yeah. I have books that I don't read and instruments I don't do.
They described the ego in here, and I feel like I might have taken issue with something at one point.
Getting all TI with it.
Yeah, you know how it is. You
gotta look at it like like The Sims. You hit pause and you do all this adjustment and then you hit play. So pretend it's paused, and so all these bad TI definitions or incongruent things, whatever, they're still a rough draft. Don't start and hit play until after you've got it all dialed in.
That makes sense. That's kind of, I suppose that's
it's a way to get around being too TI on things.
Being too TI on things.
Yeah.
That sounds like blasphemy. Being too TI.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course.
TI.
If you don't mind sharing, do you identify as a specific Enneagram type or MBI type or anything like that?
Yeah, 9 and 5, which is the most common mistype. But when I took the official test, those were the highest scoring. They tied for first, and the point system is maximum 32. So 3 numbers above is significant, according to them. So they say take your top 3 scoring types and see which one feels best or fits best. And 9 and 5 tied for first, and then 5 points below that, 6 and 1 tied for second. So those are the wings. It was pretty straightforward when I got my results. 4 for the heart triad. 4 was next at 16, and then 2 and 3 were last. So 4 is automatically it for the hearts of 954.
So you're a 5-wing 4.
No, I'm a 9-wing 1.
You're a 9-wing 1.
Or a 5-wing 6.
Or a 5. Okay.
Mostly 9.
You suspect it's the 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just based on fixations and issues under stress. Like, what do you do? Because Enneagram is motivations.
Yeah, I was going to say that next. If you could explain how what it is and how we can grow from it.
So it's your reaction to the external stuff, and then it's your internal idea of what you've perceived over time of what gets me what. So if I do this, then I can get what I need. and it's all about what you have and what you need.
Sorry, I was concentrating on this. Could you repeat that? I apologize.
No, that's okay. Just how SI users are particular with their food, and when they're in jail, that they try to get to the front of the line to catch it hot, and if they couldn't, then they wouldn't eat it.
Really interesting.
And I was like, oh, I'm the antithesis of that.
Okay, so we've got our core fears up here.
Mhm.
Oh, I totally changed that. That's the one thing I don't like about OBS is I can't change my windows without changing what's on the screen there. So resentment, pride, vanity, envy.
Mhm. Those are the main sins. It'll be everywhere, good and bad. There'll be like that touch of it.
Okay, yeah, I watched Sean O'Neill has a video about Enneagram that I looked up real quick, and he was mentioning something about this is more of a I guess like you say on screen there, a fear-based thing, or maybe your
It's
biggest.
motivation to avoid, improve the good and lessen the bad.
Okay, I don't see why that's also bad, huh?
No,
It's
your tendencies to be motivated in particular ways. So twos want to feel needed and loved, so they sacrifice the self and provide for others, and then have that fe uh, unspoken ultimatum of like, I expect something in return.
okay.
You got one is te, two is fe, three is nothing, four is ni, five is ti, six is fi, seven is se, eight is ne, and nine is si. And it has a
6 is Fi. That's interesting.
now this is an archetypal association
Okay.
because they have no correlation, no overlap or anything.
Okay.
So that's just a way to try to bridge that. Because you can say five is like ti because how five is, but straight one to one, there's no connection.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, a
Is
lot
it
of people
common? Is it pretty common for type twins to get different enneagrams?
yeah, and looking at the correlation with the functions. So 872, that's NESEFE, and Sean is quite extroverted, I'd say. So
Yep.
those would be the three that I would say that he does.
Okay.
And that's where you get someone that is a type, but then has like a slight skew somewhere. Or like, you take the Enneagram attachment that's associated with introverted feeling to the one that's usually cold, and it's like this weird blip in their personality. Like, whoa, what was that? Like out of character. It's like the symmetry we notice in the face. If somebody does any plastic surgery or alterations, it's noticeable.
The uncanny valley. Yeah, I see the uncanny valley in a lot of places in reality, actually.
What's that now?
The uncanny valley? The uncanny, well, it's kind of like what you're saying when somebody gets like plastic surgery and you can tell that you can't tell what's quite wrong, but you can tell there's something different than what you would expect from nature. They call that the uncanny valley.
So it's like a term. Okay. I didn't know if it was a show or like a thing.
No,
I'd
no,
say,
yeah, it's a concept of identifying when reality doesn't, when what you're seeing doesn't quite match your expectations of reality. Most commonly, talked about when the easiest analogy is when somebody has plastic surgery that's kind of messed up.
mm, you can run.
I'm
You
sorry?
stay, so you can keep going. If you stay talking, it's good. If you start and stop, then that throws me off.
Oh, okay. Well, what kind of calculations do you got to run there to make all the numbers fit together?
Tally it up.
let's see. We've got, you know what? I'm really ticked that my chat box didn't work for this one. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why. We haven't been getting chat in between our windows here. It's supposed to be there. And it's not. Refresh cache of current page. Maybe that'll do it. Yeah. I'll figure out what happened there, folks. Oh, let's see here. Boy, we got a lot of numbers in this chat today, Peter. Got a lot of numbers in this chat. Okay, Winston's mom says my theory is Brian, the Genxennial, has the nature of an ISTP, but time has softened him around the edges. And now he's a lovely soft bar of soapy INFJ ethos over logos. Aren't you the sweetest, Winston's mom? Rachel says she's only known a 9 ISTP. You know, we'll see how this turns out, Rachel, but the one test that I had taken prior to this, it gave a 95% on 5. It had me as a 5. Introverted thinker 9 and 6 are common types. Yeah, it seems like one of the real commons for ISTP is 5 wing 6. And then 9, I want to say 9 1 is another common one for ISTP, maybe. Introverted thinker is a 952. Alex Rodriguez, glad to see you, buddy. Alex says 683. Winston's mom, the uncanny valley is a term used to describe the relationship between the human-like appearance of a robotic object and the emotional response it evokes. In this phenomenon, people feel a sense of unease or even revulsion in response to humanoid robots that are highly realistic.
Sophia.
Hey, thanks for subscribing, Z. I really appreciate that. We are now 770 subs away from shaving a beard on stream. It's about I'm not sure what other bones I can throw out there. I gotta imagine though, it's a pretty healthy bone. You know, folks, I haven't had a clean shaven face in probably 10 years. 10 years. You can make it happen. You can make it happen by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with all of your friends who love MBTI. Let's just cut out that last. Just share it with all your friends. Share it with all your friends. And maybe they'll want to see me shave my beard. I don't know. Introverted thinker says people often underestimate how selfish the perspective of 5 is. Their cardinal sin is service. Or avarice. Maybe a typo. I'm also fairly low on literacy. This could be a word. In fact, you know what? I want to find out. I want to find out if introverted thinker made a typo or if that's a new word that I get to learn today.
Whatever each is, that's your type.
Yes, extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Great word, introverted thinker. Great word. Very cool. Winston's mom says, very cool, Z. The Genxennial also does reaction music videos. I do. And I know that all the Tool fans out there are really wanting to punch me in the face these last few months. But I did just drop the Schism video. And I suspect, what's the date today? June 17. I'm going to make a real attempt. I'm going to make a real solid attempt at having number 9 out for the end of July. And I know I was even trying to focus on having the whole tool list done by the end of 2021. We're falling short of that goal. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But that said, the few tool fans who are still around from the very beginning, Jeff Honders, a couple other people I may be forgetting, Schismist, sorry guys, but those videos take 5 times longer than any other videos. They get 5 times less views than any other videos. But at the same time, I like doing them. The problem is, I have to start dividing my time between the things I like and the things I need to get done. If I keep doing things I like, then I won't get to the things that need to get done.
Yep.
The curse of adulting.
And the Enneagram is, it's a self-assessment thing.
Okay. So I can pretty much call it at 5, 3, and then I need to decide between 9 and 8.
Yeah, or even 1, even though it's not grouped as close. It still could be.
If you were gonna pick the third number based on what you know, was it more 9? Because the 8 sounds like a little.
Answer that.
What's that?
I can't answer that because I'm not past you.
Okay, so I need to look at past me on 9 versus 8. What's the general like? I don't have the 2 in front of me. What's a 9 like and what's an 8 like?
An 8 is the. Are you looking at me, what motherfucker? Engaging. They defend by helping out the weak. Then you look at the integration disintegration lines. 8 will go down to 5 and up to 2. When they're doing good, they're challenging and assertive wherever, like lawful good.
Okay.
And then 8s, when they're down or shit's going bad, they'll go to 5 and be a bad 5, negative 5, where they'll look up stuff and go online and do that research just to back at the person. In a way. 9s, they're yes means maybe. Anything other than that is no. And they're usually like you're gonna be at my place where, oh yeah, I'll be there, and don't go.
Interesting. That's an interesting dichotomy to choose from.
To smooth the interaction over, just to have it settled without having to have any dialogue back and forth about it or over it, or just to satiate the moment, just so you can continue about your day.
Well, it's not going to be all cut and dry on those two. You have to really.
But I'd say you were a lot more engaging, and now you're less engaging. You're still engaging, but just not as intense.
I agree. I agree with that thought.
When I first took it, I didn't take it from thinking from the past. And when I did that the second time, the top 4 were still the top 4. They shifted a little, but 9 is still first. And bottom 4 is still the bottom 4. Just I got 2 points in 7. So no gluttony or expectations or sensation seeking or any of that shit from me. And that kind of fits with, being triple withdrawn with 954.
All right, so gut. What is quiet and harmonious? It must be calm and peaceful. I'm kind and easygoing, to be at ease and comfortable. Ooh is weak or pathetic. I must be strong and tough. I must take charge. I must protect the weak and innocent. You know,
Eights puff up when they're in confrontation. Nines, calm the situation down. They engage, but they try to neutralize it. Ones disengage.
yeah. It's weird because I was kind of, in high school, I was kind of the guy who, you know, I was with the jocks, but I kind of protected the nerds. But I didn't do it aggressively.
No,
So,
that's trait.
I'm sorry?
That's eight trait.
That's an 8 trait. Okay.
And if you or see that, you're like, hold on, guys, like, give me 2 minutes, and you go do it, and you come back, all right, let's go. Eighters gonna eight.
All right. Well, it looks like I have a new hero's journey to try and figure out, see if Enneagram has anything to offer. Go down the
Yeah,
rabbit hole.
I'm gonna send you these pictures here. I'm just like racking them up.
Core fears. Here we go. Fears. Fear of being weak, powerless, pathetic, manipulated, misrepresented, humiliated, vulnerable, harmed, or controlled.
You have your instincts as
Uh,
well.
And then fear of conflict, constipation, or constipation, complications, disharmony, being uncomfortable, loveless, separate, unimportant. Yeah. I'm definitely not an 8 on core fears, I don't think. It doesn't those don't strike with me at all.
Remember, these are motivations. So, do you act this way to mitigate or gain whatever it would be associated with it?
Fear of being no, like on the core fear page, nothing except for maybe controlled. None of those on number 8 strike with me at all.
And
But
eights are on your side.
I do fear conflict, complications, disharmony, um, on number 9.
If shit just starts going down around you, do you just back up and just go away? You guys go ahead and fight. I'm out.
No, I don't.
Do you referee it like celebrity deathmatch?
Yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah, I basically try and referee it, especially if it's two people that I love, you know. I almost, like you were saying earlier, where sometimes you can get in trouble with your spouse or something for for taking the side of your friends.
I'm
Um,
taking no side.
what's that?
I took no side. I just was kept my mouth shut. You're a big girl. You can handle yourself.
Yeah,
And they were friends before we started dating, so I was like, not my territory.
but that sounds completely reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, what I'm gonna
Check out.
do is I'm gonna load up all these pictures. I'll download them, move them to the PC. So if I were to compile my thoughts on this, sit back, put it through the brain incinerator for a week or two. Would you be willing to come back on and talk more about this sometime?
Yeah. How about this? 953 is called the thinker.
953 is the thinker. It sounds right to me.
And the only reason why I have that knowledge offhand is just because it's around the numbers that I have myself.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with them.
Well, I'm not surprised, man. I really wanted to talk to you about a bunch of that stuff, but we weren't really long tonight. I want to I want to chat up some disc golf. I want to chat up some Brian Cox, some cosmology, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, I live on Cox Road, so of course.
But for now, I just want to say how much I appreciate your time. You're a freaking awesome dude. I'm really happy to have met you, and I think I can learn. I think I can learn a lot from you, and I really appreciate you putting yourself forward like this to not only help me but inform all the viewers who are watching as well. And I'm really looking forward to doing this again sometime, maybe in a couple weeks when I dive head first, and then I'll have more questions for you. And obviously, I really trust your judgment, and I've seen you around enough. I believe you're an absolutely quality resource for this information. And again, I really thank you for your time, Peter.
I'm the contemplator.
All right, brother. I'm gonna sign off. We'll stay in touch, and thanks for hanging with me this time, folks. We'll see you on the flip side.